Hi Jay.
Hello.
No meeting today?
I'm just waiting for Rita to join. Max and Sartash is out, so
Okay.
yeah. Very weird reason. Yeah.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
We can get started. Uh, yeah. So I had few items in the agenda. First one is let's cut the release today. Uh, so I'm gonna work on the release right after this meeting, and then the next one was I've been compiling a list of all the mutation requests that we have had over time, and then figuring out which ones are addressed by map or and which ones are not. Um, and I'm almost through the list. There is only one test that I need to do in order to figure out just one request. So after that, what are our next steps? That's what I wanted to discuss.
Okay, so just one at a time. So
Yes.
nothing is blocking 319, right? Thank you.
No, no. I don't think I've seen any issues with
Okay,
Hersey.
cool. Okay, and then let's go to your next one, mutation.
Yeah.
Okay, so uh, okay. I think what we can do is thank you for doing this, by the way. This looks awesome. Um, so I think for next step, I can tag some of the folks who are working on map, and just because they're always looking for feedback as far as like what are things that
Yeah.
people cannot do with map, and then we can maybe discuss either here or in KK, not sure. Uh, and then I guess like, are you seeing I see that you because you tagged the issues, right? Are you seeing people coming or like trying the map stuff, or it's kind of maybe too early because it's alpha?
Yeah, it's too early, and when I mean, I didn't see anybody saying that, hey, map is currently doing this, why is not gatekeeper, or this is either not possible with map or gatekeeper, can we support this or something like that. But when I was trying out map, the documentation is pretty rudimentary, like I couldn't even figure out how to generate binding. So I assume that it's generally difficult for folks to try this stuff
Gotcha.
out.
Okay. So when you say possible with map right now, how did you validate that?
Like I figured out how to create binding, and then read through the KEP, and figured out, like, at least imagined. I didn't actually write the binding for or policies for all of them, but like if a conditional mutation is possible for one thing, it's going to be possible for other things as well. So I was able to come up with like cell expressions to how to do that, for example.
Gotcha. I think again, I don't want you to like do it for all of them. Like you said, that's too much. I think if you can maybe group these by, say, based on like a commonality, if you can provide examples, um, example maps and put it in the issue, the original issue, I think that could perhaps help people to test it and let us know like if this meets their requirement or not. Does that make
Okay.
sense? Yeah, I think
Yeah.
because just looking at this, it's like it's a good signal, but like as a user, I'm looking at this, I'm like, what do I do next? Right? Like
Yeah.
now I
Yeah.
need this.
Yeah.
But also I think maybe in general, I think what you're identifying could be, hey, the upstream like KK docs need more work, right? So I think again, once you've done like group the common ones, I think the next a really good value add is to open a PR on the web on the Kubernetes website to add some of these as examples. Uh, and then again, once you have that, let's tag the map people and get it in, right? Uh, I guess like part of my hope is, one is obviously validate and help people move to maps so that they can use it to meet their requirement. Two is get you involved in map, right? As
Yeah.
today it's just alpha. And I think, I'm sure the maintainers are always looking for help. But obviously you have to balance like your gatekeeper
Yeah.
time with that. So that's something we need to be careful about, but I definitely think that would be really great for you to work on. Um, and obviously the elephant in the room is what does that mean for gatekeeper users, right? How do they, when do they use KK map versus gatekeeper map? And
Yeah.
I don't have an answer. I mean, obviously we're giving them guidance, but if they still want to use gatekeeper to manage their map, that's where it's a lot more work, right? Uh,
Yeah.
and you probably saw it from my KubeCon talk, right? That's like the guidance currently is use map if you can. If you want to use external data, that's where you use gatekeeper map. Sorry,
Yeah.
not map, but gatekeeper.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
Christine, since Christine, since you're on the call, like, have you had any thoughts about mutation, gatekeeper mutation, and the the new Kubernetes map feature, how they work together? Do you have users asking for that? Um, you're muted in case you're talking. I'm not sure. Uh, okay. Anyway, let's move on. I think this might be okay for now. I know
Yeah.
you're looking for clarity, but it's one of those chicken egg problems.
Yeah. 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 No, but to me, this makes sense. Like, I'll post the examples on issue, and then I'll take the creator or author of the issue to just get their opinion as well. That might be good
Yeah.
text data point. Yeah. And then I wanted to go through a couple of VAP issues that I've seen around. Like, one of them was exposing or at least adding delete operation to VAP support. And so we have a to do already to expose those operations safely, but we haven't figured it out yet. So thoughts on supporting delete operation and whether or not we want to do it before beta or after one is fine as well. Um, I think it's nice to have for beta, but I don't think it's a blocker because it's not breaking backward compatibility.
Yeah, I think so too. Uh, although, let me look at our gatekeeper library policies just to get an idea for how we deal with delete today. Uh, how do we deal with delete? delete today?
So right now, the delete is added as a part of webhook operation at the time of deployment, and then based on whether or not policy should is checking that delete or not, it will get invoked anyways. But based on that, the policies are evaluated. There is no particular field in constraint template right now that indicates that this is particularly for delete field. Like I've seen some policies around where they specifically check the request operation marked as delete and then proceed further to evaluate rego. Uh, but that's about it.
Okay. This is actually really cool, like that we're getting this issue. It means people are using it. That's awesome.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's really cool.
So I
Um,
was really excited because the author says that they were migrating repo policies to web. So
yeah, yeah. So that means they're using generate that feature,
yeah,
even though
yeah,
it's still alpha. That's how cool is that?
yeah.
Um, yeah, yeah. I mean, I would also just to see how hard it is. I mean, I don't, if it's not that hard, maybe add it in before beta. I think again, it really depends how complex. But if it's just about mapping the fields, maybe it's not that bad, right?
So that's the thing, right? Like we don't have, as far as I recall, we don't have any way to look at the webhook and figure out what operations are there right now. Like we don't have any gatekeeper environment variable or something like that. And webhooks deployment is really independent of how gatekeeper pods are deployed, right? Um,
Wait, but this is about VAP, right? This is about
yeah, yeah.
generate.
But so for consistency, right? Like constraint templates are only evaluated on delete if the delete operation is there in the webhook itself. But this is at policy level itself.
Yeah,
It's right. So like how do we allow users to set delete there? Like either it has to be a flag or we have to look at the webhook configuration to see if gatekeeper supports delete itself in itself or not, and then allow users to set it, something like that. Um,
right. I guess this is because like we don't have the concept of operations as part of constraint.
constraint.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, it's coming back to me.
Uh, yeah, so that part is kind of tricky.
Yeah, I know, I know. Hmm, I guess today we just blindly say uh
We do create an update
an
by
update.
default.
Like
Yeah,
we just blindly assume that's the the case.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
That's why this is kind of a good issue to do it before beta because the folks can try delete operations as well with beta with more a little bit of more confidence, I guess. But yeah,
yeah, yeah. But I agree it should be consistent. Um, and it's a new concept for constraint, basically.
yeah, yeah,
Um, I think it's a yeah, okay, so I think because it's a bigger change, maybe after beta will make more sense. And also
okay.
maybe wait for other maintainers to come back.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
Mm. So maybe add a comment to that issue. And maybe let's add it to the I mean, we could add it to the next milestone, right? Just so we can, even if we don't have the code, right? Like at least a design of some sort. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, let me add it to the milestone, I guess.
Yeah, cool. Uh, and for the next one, yeah, this is basically an issue to support audit enforcement action in VAP. So a dry run should translate to audit roughly because in dry run we update the metrics uh, for webhook violations, and audit VAP audit essentially does similar things, but they publish the violations in events. So so internally, the request is internally dry run enforcement action should be translated to VAP audit enforcement action. Right now, when dry run is passed and uh, users are trying to create VAP, we just error out saying that dry run is not a supported action so sorry for VAP, and that's why you can't generate VAP or use this constraint template for VAP.
Right? Because they're kind of the same thing, right? Or uh, so basically, dry run would just be audit.
Yeah, yeah. Like instead of failing on dry run and not generating VAP, translate it to audit. That's the ask.
Okay, sounds good. Is that something you want to add for one for 320?
Yeah, I seems like not a big of a change, so this can be done. Yeah,
Okay, sounds good.
and then few reviews. That's
Mhm.
about.
Yeah. I did add another PR just to
Yeah,
so this is the one where I
yeah.
think
This is yeah. I saw this PR and it's like a very huge one to test. Uh, it's
well
like
also
all Rego policies are getting translated to V1. Almost all.
mhm. uh trying to understand.
Or no, I think yeah.
I mean, I think uh I, I think they like Anders basically like create a V1 folder,
Yeah.
which is that what we want?
Um
I would imagine it's like kind of like our versioning convention, right? Is like it would be a bump in the
eh, yeah. Like it would be, but I'm not sure if we want V1 or we want to do existing, like we want to update the existing ones and then bump the versions there.
that's what I meant.
Yeah, yeah,
But just to be consistent with
yeah,
our versioning convention, right?
yeah. I can I can see the benefits of both because let's say if I'm a user and I'm going on to the library website, I will only see the latest version and not the old ones. Or will I don't. So
But like
if I have to,
I don't even think our website supports source slash v2, right?
yeah, yeah, it doesn't right now. I don't think it does. So like there is a work that needs to be done there, but
Yeah. And then a couple of things, right? So I think you're in the process of updating uh Gatekeeper to the latest, right? For Gatekeeper library, right? So we can use the latest V1 or latest gatekeeper that has V1 support, right? Because
Yeah,
otherwise we wouldn't even be able to test this.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I was waiting till the release and then update the versions everywhere. But if we want to do it, like probably we should do this. And I was working on CI improvements for this, but it got sidetracked. But technically, what we should do is we should have a variable there which just fetches the latest gatekeeper. Like whenever an RC is released, latest RC or latest
Mhm.
version, and then test the PRs
Mm.
on library stuff, so that we have that testing automated, uh,
Oh,
and we
sorry.
can.
So, what do you mean? Sorry.
So we should have a CI which basically tests the whole library against the latest RC or latest gatekeeper version.
Yes. Yes.
So like when we got RC, we can actually go look at that CI and see if any of the policies failed or there are any
Yeah.
issues.
Were you thinking updating to RC for the library CI, or like where is this CI? Is this in Gatekeeper or Gatekeeper library?
Uh, could be any. I mean, I think it could. It might be easier to do it in Gatekeeper itself, because in CI will need a webhook and poll the release, right?
I see. So when so it okay. So like you would like clone the library and just run the test on it. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Um, yeah, that would be awesome. And would it be part of release gate?
Yeah. Uh, I, it depends on the type of error, right? Like if it's something that, let's say an API version is deprecated in the latest Kubernetes, then that shouldn't be a release gate CI, right? But if like most of the policies are not working or the most common ones are not working, then we want to do something about it. Does it make sense? Like, is that your question?
Um, like I'm just trying to clarify like when do we run this test, right? Like you don't want to run it all the time, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
so yeah,
so it
so
makes
would it
sense.
be part
It makes sense to run it after we got release, like RC. If we got RC, because that's the process, right? We generally got RC before we got the actual release.
yeah,
So after we got RC,
gotcha. So it's a CI job that we manually trigger when we cut RC.
yeah, or it can be triggered whenever the RC tag is pushed.
I see. Okay, that's even better. More automated. Yeah.
Yeah,
Add test to CI. I'm just taking notes.
yeah.
To automatically run test against gatekeeper library when a new RC is cut. I really like that. That's like the best signal. Yeah. Um,
Coming back to this, like
yeah.
what do you think? uh,
I mean, I think again, first things first, right? Need to update Gatekeeper to latest for CI to test Rego V1.
yeah,
And then work with PR owner to update per version convention. Um, but to your point, that would basically mean all the policies will get a new version bump, and that will be the new one that's going to be shown on the website, right?
yeah,
So I think your question is like, what about the E0 people? Yeah.
yeah.
Mhm. Yeah. Mm.
Maybe we could just do V1 Rego V1 policies and V2 like V0 policies, but it's like down the line it's harder to maintain, especially when some of them will have cells, some of them will not. It's
Well, Yeah, especially let's say in the future we make an update. Now we have to update at least two, one for
Yeah,
V0, one for V1. Yeah,
yeah.
that sucks. Let me think. I mean,
Or we can say that like how we deprecate, or not really deprecate, but how we stop archive projects, right? Like after a time, we just stop updating V0, saying that hey, we have moved on to V1
yeah,
for like at least 6 months, so you
yeah,
should
yeah.
probably.
Is it how hard, I mean, I'm putting you on the spot, but like how hard would it be to add like a toggle on the website for where V0, V1, it's like you click on V1 and it will show the V1 stuff.
I actually I don't know, but I assume it won't be like a month work of like a month's time,
Yeah, yeah.
like a couple of days to figure it out how it works, and then couple of days to test it.
Hmm. Yeah, but I think that might be helpful, at least while the two things are there at the same time, right?
Yeah.
Um,
Or we can do like a sub folder kind of thing, right? Like right now, how we have it under general and then PSP policies. Like we can do
yeah.
V0 policies.
But again, the problem with that is like if there is a change, how do you make sure it's updated across both?
But even the toggle, right? Like we need to update it in the both places to begin with to reflect that changes to whomever user, like either using V0 or V1. So that problem is there.
Oh, hmm, like this.
I think this was what Max was kind
Yeah,
of upset about when V1 migration came to be.
yeah. I think he doesn't want to do this. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
that's annoying. And also the way he's doing it is he's importing Rego V1 in the Rego file, right? But if you look at um the constraint template, he's not providing the Rego V1 thing. Uh,
Can you share your screen or like tell me what you're looking at?
yeah, yeah, one sec. Also, the PR is huge, so it's like taking forever to load.
Yeah, my browser froze twice already.
I know. Mine is now. So great. Um, 1 second. Let me just do this. See, this is why I need the docs because I'm like, how does it work now? Like, how do I say V1? I forgot what we agreed on. Dang. Do you remember off the top of your head?
Can you ask the question again? I didn't follow
Oh,
you
like
through.
as a user, how do I say I want to use Rego V1?
Okay.
Yeah.
There is a field under constraint template,
Yeah, yeah.
engine Lego
Uh,
saying that version I want to use V1.
mm-hmm.
I do recall raising a PR for this, but
Yes. Okay.
Did you figure it out?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
So like, so this basically. So uh, put it somewhere. In the uh, anyway. Uh, and, um, sorry, I'm slow.
no, no, no worries.
Update.
Maybe I didn't.
What do you mean?
I do recall raising a PR for updating the docs. Uh, to
You have an issue, but not the PR.
oh, okay, okay, then I'll do it. Yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah. Add docs for OPA one. Cool.
Uh, okay, so okay, so this is what I let me copy the link. I'll put it in the chat so that you can see it as well. But yeah, what do we do about supporting both versions at the same time? This is now really annoying.
Are you suggesting like having V1 code and V0 code in the same policy?
No,
No.
that wouldn't work, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like the same, right? Like introducing a new engine at that point. But
Yeah, that's true.
I think
But
you're
I think
talking
it would
about
just
library, right?
right, but it would just default to like the the first one. Yeah,
Yeah.
if you remember.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, trying to think what is the best way to organize the current library such that we will give users the option to use V2 without clobbering V1, I guess.
Yeah.
Uh, this is annoying. I guess currently the way we deal with this is literally like copy the policy and call it V2. I think like this is like how you don't clobber the old one. Like when the change is too big.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, like, if you go in the repository itself, like all the
Yeah.
older versions are there.
Yeah.
It's like a hassle for users to now actually go to GitHub library and then look at those policies. Like it
Yeah.
will be present under Artifact Hub. Uh,
No,
so
no, I'm saying like uh in order to support both at the same time, we will basically have to do something like say the uh, Seccom V2. Like if you go to the website, right? The Gatekeeper
oh
library,
yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, like
yeah,
you wouldn't be able to just have one anymore. That's
yeah,
the annoying part.
yeah. So like basically every policy would be a
We'll have a
V2,
V2. Yeah.
or if there
Or
is a V2
forever
already,
be, yeah,
yeah,
that's annoying.
yeah. I do think at least like if we are gonna do that, what Anders is doing is more organized, where we have a global differentiator where whether or not this particular directory or path contains v0 or v1 policies, and then figuring out how to like display that in website itself might not be too difficult or too much of a work to begin with, rather than having like everything v2.
Yeah, but again, if there's change in the future, how do we remember? Yeah, I don't like it. This
Yeah,
is, and then also, uh, yeah, like for example, in his V2, right? I think he's basically just doing regular. Like there's no that there's no cell at all.
yeah, yeah. Did you share the link of what you were looking at? Like you were talking
Oh,
about.
it's just his PR. It's just his PR. Like 639.
Yeah,
It's
yeah, yeah. I'm looking at the PR, but you were like, in source he's importing like Rego V1, and in template he's not doing something. So I was getting
okay,
confused.
okay. Yeah, let me share my screen again. 1 second. It's frozen, so I'm not sure I can show anything. But give me 1 second. Yeah, it's annoying. Uh, share my screen. Do. Also, I need to drop actually. But but really quick, I guess. Uh, see my screen, okay?
Yeah,
Okay, so yeah, this is what I mean, right? Like, it, he's just adding Rego. Like, there's no what do you call it, VAB or anything. But, uh, yeah,
there is, sorry, no what your.
there's no cell, no VAB.
Yeah, 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 yeah. There is no sorry, yeah. And even the versioning is kind of skewed a little because I think he copy pasted everything, and for each of them the version should be 1.0.0, but somewhere you will find it's like 1.0.2 or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah. Um. Okay, maybe let's talk. Mm, maybe like start a thread in Slack to see what we want to do here. I don't know if like talk talk through this on GitHub is very productive. It's just gonna end up with like a lot of review comments.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
Okay.
Do you mind maybe start a thread to say, hey, um, like how do we want to structure organize these things since we don't want to lose what we currently have and Rego V2 it should be in theory the same thing as what we have today but just V2. Oh sorry, just right Rego V1, right? So okay, let's start from there, I guess.
Okay.
All right, cool. Thank you.
Thanks.
See
Bye.
you later. Bye.